Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. And back there, we live just south of Boston.
Congested area.
Yeah, but I like both. I love England and I love New England, so I'm happy wherever I am.
That's the key thing, being happy where you are.
I'm just going to make sure Niko posts these things a bit quicker because I'm 5 hours ahead of you, so I won't get to them all.
Uh, Trying to do them right after the call nowadays, but
Excellent.
a lot of times I stay on too long and then I'm late for another appointment and I immediately jump over to my other call because they're waiting for me and then I forget to post. And then
Uh,
it until someone reminds me. So
You
that's
need
my
us,
bad.
you need us to tell you to get off the screen?
Or just like you got some of you been doing, reminding me in DMs in the Discord. Hey man, don't forget to post that. I get those messages. Don't worry. I'm reminded. But lately I've been good. Lately it's been right after the call or shortly after.
yeah,
Did you
you
go
have.
long
It
again
has
on
it has
XRP?
improved.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Did you go long again on XRP?
No, I on a live webinar last night, I moved my stop loss down a bit and it didn't quite hit it. And then it came back up and I was just in profit a minute ago. And now I'm not. Let me share my screen and show you.
So I guess I should have gone in at 189.
Yeah, the dips are usually, well, it depends. You got to look at the, you got to
Yeah.
look at the, hold on one second. Let me share my screen. You got to look at the support line. So where is it bouncing? Where do we think it's bouncing at?
I thought we'd go down to the 185, but
Let me know if you guys can see this. Yeah, I mean, I did have a support line here. It's probably not even where it should be. I have it almost at the bottom of the wicks, but let me push it up to right where it hit. That's more like it. Boom, boom. Some wicks went through. That's kind of where we bounced. Of course, my entry was way up here, guys, so that was not a good entry. But what I did do is I actually added, once it got down here, instead of closing it out or taking a loss, my liquidation was a little bit lower than that. So what I did is I added more contracts right about here and that brought my entry down a little bit. I did not post this in the Discord as a signal because that is very risky, because if this would have kept going down, I would have got liquidated and lost about $2,000. And so my stop, wherever my stop loss was, let me go look. Where did I have a stop loss at? I don't know if I did or not. Stop loss of $1.75. I'm not sure if that was the most recent signal. I think it was. So the stop loss was at $1.75 anyway, which was lower. It's higher now. Yeah, my stop loss was lower, so I didn't move it. But last night, or when I posted this signal right here, I think we were pumping and I thought we were holding above and getting ready to break out. And since we came down and wicked here, and by the way, that wick was, if I remember correctly, that wick was right here where we had when that big drop back on January 18th, when we dropped all the way down. Hold on a second here. Let me see what price that was. When we dropped down to $1.78, you can see it sucked right back up and held support here. And then we hit it here again. You can see that line. And then we came below it and retested as resistance and support and support. So I think when I went long here, it was based on that stain above that line. Now it did drop back below here, and that's when I held for a minute because I also knew that the next support down was here. So I was taking a big risk. If I would have just closed that trade out here, as soon as it dropped below, that would have been the safest thing to do. And then this breakout here would be a good entry as long as it retests. But it could be doing the same thing it did here, where it came above it and falls back below. But I was in profit briefly right before this call. Right here, I was probably up $100. But here I was negative $500, and that's why I don't give those. That's why I don't tell you guys to move your stop losses, because that starts to get a little risky. Because if it would have kept going down a little bit more, I was probably negative more than that because my liquidation is at $1,900. So if it would have just dropped down to here, that would have been a $1,900 loss. So I did stay in it. I'm sorry, that's my stop loss. My liquidation is way down here. I did move my stop loss overnight to under these, and luckily it did not hit it. But that would have been, I'm sorry, that would have been about a $600 loss. This down here would be a $1,900 loss. I am not expecting it to go that low. But you know, we were having these ups and downs inside this apex here. And if we look at this apex, it really is. It has been, excuse me, one sec. It has been downward trending for a bit. And however, there is kind of a floor right here that it's been hitting, and it bounced out of that and it broke the downward trending resistance. So that's good news. Let's see if it holds. I'm still in this trade. I could move my stop loss up, but I'm going to wait and see if it holds there. We also have, we're still inside the main overall downward trending channel. So let me zoom out and show you that. Right here, it looks like we broke out, and then we're retesting. That's one way to look at it. But if I move this line here, what does that look like? It looks like if I move the line to the tops of all the really highest lower highs here,
Just a downward channel.
it's still in the downward trending channel. Now, the way I had it before is I touched the majority of the wicks, which is this top one, this one, these here where it peaked above and came back below. But there was definitely resistance here. Peaked above, hit support, broke below, and resistance again. And then it hit, and then here it hit, and then broke out. And if I bring this all the way to here, that's what support. So it could be looked at both ways, guys. We could have had a breakout in a support, which would be very similar to this 1, 2, 3 pattern over here when it did that last year. And this being the one pattern, the one here, because it hit the bottom, which was the floor, pretty much the bottom of the bottom, almost at the bottom. Once we get down below this level, only twice did the wicks go below this red line, once here and once here. Both times sucked right back up. So right here, we came pretty low. And then right here, we double bottom there. That's the wick. And that's what kind of got us back out of this downward trending channel. And now we're breaking out of this little short term. But are we? Let's just go and fine tune that one. We have another falling wedge outside of this main downward trending channel. And that's only if I move that line there. If I bring this line up here, we're still in the middle of the downward trending channel. And so there's a couple ways to look at that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a parallel channel on here just so we can see what the center line is. And bring that down. We are bouncing on the center line, which is kind of what I said the other day. I didn't have it on that one, but let's go back to where I did have it right here.
So Niko,
Bouncing on that center line.
we should go back to the daily time frame then. I mean, because you can go down to the 10-minute, the 5-minute, the 3-minute, and you can talk yourself into pretty much anything.
Well, the higher time frames are definitely showing the bigger picture, and it is more accurate. The difference here is I have this line touching only the tops of all of these, but I have it on all the bottoms. So if this is accurate, we just hit it right here and came back down. So we're definitely not out of the overall downward trending channel unless I move that. And you might say, well, why would you move it? Well, only because if I bring this down to touching the tops of the majority of the high wicks, then the ones that went above it fell back below. And then we had resistance, support, resistance, support, breakthrough, resistance, breakthrough, support, resistance. So this line, this is a line, it is something, but we're still not out of the woods there yet either. I mean, we broke out and came back down. So let's just keep it up here just to be on the safe side. Let's just keep it there where we are in the middle still of the downward trending channel. But unlike this one, I mean, could I have brought this one over here too? Yes. Let's just look at that. Let's just look at that because it could have done the same thing over here. If I would just touch the tops and bring this down to the bottoms, we did kind of wick to the halfway line. Whoops. Something very similar. We hugged the top for a while, wicked down to the center line and to basically the middle of the channel, and then broke out. I'm not saying it's going to do the same thing it did over here, but from the top to the bottom and back to the top again, this was the previous pattern, and we only have one other time to compare it to over the last 12 months because this is December 2024 here. So this was a year to here, back down to the bottom, right here. And now we're in January and we're now starting to pump. So is this the pump? No, we're not technically out of this yet. So we still need to get out. So this number 2 could be over here. Number 3 could be over here. It's not a very good number 3. Let me get rid of that. We just might not be there yet. And it might not be a 1, 2, 3 pattern. I'm only basing it on the previous pattern because that's happened not only recently in the last year here, but also if I show you this chart here on TradingView, you will see that it's happened on every one of these wedge breakouts, where we go to the top, come to the bottom, go to the top, come to the bottom, and have a repeating breakout pattern. If I were able to zoom in, this is on the weekly, but if I was able to zoom in on the very low time frames, you would see we had a breakout, kind of a 1, 2, 3 break to the top, and then very similarly, again, come down to the floor, and I can make the floor wherever I want. I mean, I can make the floor perfectly even to where it actually is. Doesn't have to be an upward trending support line because there is a floor that's actually horizontal here. Break out, come to the top, wick down to the floor again one more time, and then break out. It did that here also. If I were to take this blue line and make it the floor up here, the difference here is that it dipped below the floor once and came back up for resistance, broke above it, and held the whole time after that. And we did have another wick to the top, and then another downward trending channel, and then a breakout to the top again before we pop out to the upside. So it's a very similar, if not identical, very similar repeating patterns. And the whole upward trend from the bottom down here, and this is 2017 when we were at 0.004 cents for XRP, is holding support along the way. And we haven't gotten to it yet up here. We're a little bit of ways. So that doesn't mean we're going to wind all the way to the end sideways, but we could go up to 350, back down, up to 350, back down. We could do that at least one more time before breaking out to the upside. But I have this here because this is where I think we will break to when we do break. I just believe we're going to be in the $14 to $16 range on XRP.
You're not showing your screen, Niko. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, I
he
think you
is.
switched screens.
Oh, Jesus God. What are you seeing?
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Oh my God. I wish this happened last night on the webinar. I wish somebody would tell me before I spend 20 minutes explaining something. But I guess you thought I was talking about the screen you were seeing.
Yeah.
All right. Let me go back over here. Let me something's going weird with Zoom. We were having this problem on the webinar last night because people were saying the same things. And normally I could just switch. I could just click on a different tab and show, and you guys would see it. But that's not happening now. So I guess I gotta reshare this one. So basically what I was just now showing you, let me know if you can see this now. And you can see my mouse moving.
Yep.
Okay. So this is the TradingView overall chart of XRP going all the way back to, 2017 here, where we had these very similar repeating patterns before the breakout. Very similar repeating patterns before the breakout. And here we are right now doing something very similar before the breakout, and we'll probably do it again up here. But I think that this breakout right here, when we finally, I don't know if it's going to be all the way to the end. I mean, that would be in line with the upward trending support. It's done that where it literally wound into, if I do it this way and do it as an upward trending wedge, and if I do this way as an upward trending wedge, each time when we came to the point we broke out, and it just so happened to be over here, it just so happened to be right where the upward trending support line is, right here. And then here we are now. We're up here in this upward channel. And by the way, it's the same almost with everyone. Here, when we broke out, we came right up to the previous all-time high. And then we came down and hit support at the lower high. And broke out to a new high. We consolidated in a bullish flag pattern, hitting resistance, finally breaking out all the way up to $3.60 or so. And then we kind of consolidated and wound up and down into this apex all the way over here. Now, from here, guys, from this breakout here, 2017 to this breakout here, 2024, holy cow. That's 6-7 years. That's a long time. But during that time, this was, SEC litigation, court filings, delisting. XRP was going through a lot during that time. All of that got cleared here when they won the SEC battle. This was back in October 2024 when we were long in this group right here on this breakout. We had a big bet in the group, not a bet, but we were basically saying we were waiting for the SEC announcement as to whether they were going to settle or drop the charges or what. And we were thinking that if they got cleared and they won, this thing was going to shoot up to the moon. And if they didn't, it was going to drop below. And we had a tight stop loss here just in case. I don't know if you guys remember that. We do have a screen share somewhere of that we share, I think, on the webinar, which is, it was like a 1,500% gain up to about $1, up to about 89.90 cents, which was this first pump. But then it just kept climbing. Then we got up here and we held. When we came back down for support, we held at this level. I mean, we went up and reached the previous high, just like down here. We went up and reached the previous high. And then we came down to the lower high below that. Just like here, we went up and reached the previous high, and then we came down and held support on the lower high from the previous range. So we went up, hit the top, came back and held support on the previous lower high from the range. So doing something very similar. Now we've been holding that support for a year, and we've been up and down, and we are winding into possibly another apex here. So this is a matter of time. Now, how long would it be until it got all the way to the end here? That would be like another year from, that would be the rest of this year. But that doesn't mean it has to wait that long. It's just that it's just recently that all of these new developments have been changing. All of these new laws and the Clarity Act and the Genius Act and all these things, crypto-friendly governments and, you know, institutional grade investments and ETFs and all these things are coming about right now. So that could shorten the time span before the next parabolic move to the upside. I would say sometime in 2026. So I would say sometime before the end of this. And, you know, that would change this. And now if it does take until the end of this, you're looking at pretty much a year from now of just up and down motions. But that's only if it stays in this exact box of, you know, holding this upward trending support. That may not happen. That may not be the case. In fact, maybe it will drop down and hit this line here. This could happen, guys, and that would be a big difference now, wouldn't it? Instead of having to wait all the way to this happening, we could just come down and hit this line somewhere in here, go sideways for the next month or so, boom, wick down, and that's it, breakout. Because really, all we need is another touch point on this upward trending support. And it would look like this one. It would look like this one. Big wick down right before breaking out. Now let's just look at the floor, where the floor was when that happened. If we put this right where the floor is, a couple wicks below the floor, big wick down, and then pop out. And where did it, after it came back up, came to the center line, boom. I'm not saying it's going to do exactly what it's done before, but when you look at repeating patterns, you have to say, okay, this is also likely to be the case this time. This is the downward trending channel I was just showing you, the possible 1, 2, 3. But we're still inside this. So this is not happened yet. This 3 could be over here somewhere. This 1 may not have happened yet. It could be when we wick down all the way down somewhere over here when we could wick down to this line. I'll know where the 1, 2 and the 1 and the 2 is as soon as we break out of this channel. As soon as we break out of this channel, then I'll find the number 2 then, like this one, because it was here after the breakout of the downward trending channel. And then I just called this the 1, where we wicked the lowest before breaking out. Wherever we wicked the lowest right before the breakout, that's the 1. And then the breakout top is the 2, and the retest is the 3.
Niko, I'm curious, all the banking changes that they just made overnight in the last day or two, if they're going to affect the crypto market, because they're making it a lot harder for people to move their money around. And they say they're going to put a lot of stops on small amounts of money that are going into the banks right now. And it's probably just going to cause people a lot of aggravation.
Who's saying that? What changes particularly are you talking about?
There was some banking changes overnight. I was watching a YouTube channel. Let me pull it up. I could tell you what the name of the channel was. It was Futures Safe US. And it just came out like I think 3 days ago, and the guy was talking about the banking changes that were pushed overnight. And in the next week, it's supposed to change, or the next few days, it's supposed to change. And he's talking about they reduced the amounts of money you can deposit. And if it's not a business account, people's accounts are probably going to end up getting frozen, and the banks are probably going to lock their funds up until they call in and actually have to tell them where the money came from. So he's just making points like, if you sold a car or something like that and you deposited 3,000 and it's not your normal
Who
amount
is
that you
it? What's the
deposit.
guy's name? Do you know?
Let me look real quick. I forgot his name.
Yeah,
Let
I
me
mean,
pull
you
it up.
gotta take what you hear on YouTube with a grain of salt. I mean, obviously there's different sources, and it also depends on when the video was. You never know. If the video was posted 2 days ago, he could have recorded it a week ago. I
Yeah.
post videos and they don't get edited and posted for like 5 days, 7 days. And so if I'm
Okay.
talking about something that happened today or tomorrow or yesterday, it's kind of old news at this point. But I have never had that problem. Maybe in Europe might be having those problems. I don't have that problem. Now, if you move a large amount of money from crypto, like let's say you have a big sale, like let's say you just sell all your crypto in Coinbase and you got $1 million and you just transfer it to your personal savings or checking account, whatever account you have linked to Coinbase, you could have a problem. The bank could hold the funds or freeze it or question you, depending on if you've never had that kind of large transaction before. They might question where it came from or whatever. That is possible. I've heard those stories, but it's never happened to me yet. And but yes, if you use a business account, it's less likely, especially if the business account is seasoned, meaning you've already had large transactions coming and going. They wouldn't think much of it. But if you're sitting on a checking account with an average daily balance of $500 or less, and all of a sudden you got 700 grand coming in out of the blue, yeah, that could raise a red flag.
Yeah, he's making it sound like all your basic transactions that people are doing every day, like very small transactions, they're going to start flagging and asking questions like where the money's coming from and lock your money up in the bank. Kind of what they were doing with bigger amounts of funds,
Yeah, I
prior to
think
that.
that usually when you see videos like that, it's a scare tactic to get you to take action. Was the person asking you to DM them for more information on how to protect yourself from this? Was the person telling you to set up some kind of Web3 wallet, set up a trust or a business account, DM me for more information? If it's that kind of video, then that's just a fear scare tactic to get you to reach out and probably use their services for something legitimate or not. I don't know.
I'll look up his name and send it to you.
Hey, Nico, it's really,
Yeah, go ahead.
it's not a year ago, a buddy of mine, he sells businesses, but his old business that he makes a lot of money in is transmissions. So people pay him in cash. He'll just go to make a $10,000 deposit, and PNC Bank was giving him crap for the longest time, freezing his account and everything else. He finally closed it out, but he's had issues. What I do is like if I have a Wells Fargo, when I have TD Bank, if I deposit like one of my paychecks into TD Bank, they'll hold it for a week. So I just cash it at Wells Fargo and go over and deposit it. And they're like, "Oh, what's this money from?" I'm like, "None of your freaking business. It's my paycheck." Like, "You guys hold my money for a week." I go, "I need access to it." Because I usually only use the banks. I don't keep a lot of money in it. I do it to pay my simple bills, but I keep my money in brokerages and wallets and stuff like that. But they've been asking these questions for,
Yeah.
a year or so, just for regular businesses too. It's, like Big Brother watching wants to know everything,
Well, yeah, I mean,
Like, and I
I think
sell
that the
Florida.
bank tellers are required to ask maybe, but I'm not so sure
Yeah.
you have.
Yeah, but
Tell
I'm
them.
also in South Florida, so it's like they think you're drug dealers or something. I'm like, there's drug dealers everywhere. It's like,
Yeah, I just don't have that problem. I don't know. I mean, I have Wells Fargo, I have Chase, I have Truist, I have a couple different banks, but I haven't had that issue. But I do know that it happens. I don't know. It's sometimes maybe certain accounts are already flagged for some reason for something else, and then or maybe there's no activity for a while on a certain account, and all of a sudden there's activity happening. Um, there could be a lot of reasons why you get flagged for, it's kind of like audits with the IRS. A lot of people think they're being targeted or they're worried about getting audited, but it's very few and far between. And usually it's the more complicated or, unrealistic returns or filings that, exact numbers, like your expense for your auto or your home office was 5,000, your dinner's out and your business expenses 4,000, even with no, they know that's a rounding. You're just rounding to a nearest number. You're not giving exact numbers. That there's room for audit there, So obviously it's like if you want to give a specific price, like, oh, my dinners, my write-offs for business dinners was $6,622.42. That looks pretty accurate. That looks like you actually calculated exact receipts. But if you just say 7,000, yeah, unlikely that you hit exactly 7,000. You're going to get audited. That's a flag. So my point is that there's a lot of things that could flag you in different bureaus and different, things. But yeah, I mean, I already know for a fact that if you just move large amounts of money, I don't even know what large is anymore, because large, I don't know what the bank considers large. It used to be if you deposited more than 10,000, they report it to the Federal Reserve. That doesn't mean anything. You don't even know when that happens.
I think it's down to $3,000. I think it's down to $2,997 or something, or less.
Yeah. And that could be the case, but what is it that they're basically saying? But once it becomes a repeatable thing, like if you have consistent, repeatable deposits coming in for larger amounts, then they raise that bar based on what your average is, and then it's no longer, suspicious. So it just depends. And what I will recommend first is going to your banker and going into the bank and actually talking to a banker at the bank that you opened your account with, and letting them know what you have planned, what you're doing. And a lot of people don't want to do this for what sounds like obvious reasons. They don't want the bank to know their business. But if you say to the bank, listen, I have this coming, how should I best set things up so I don't have an issue with the bank and I don't have some kind of problem when it hits? They'll make a note of it, and that goes a long way. Actually, communication goes a long way with a lot of these companies, just like debt collectors and credit card companies. If you call them, you can't pay your Amex bill on the due date. You call them and let them know you just need a few extra days. You need until next Wednesday. They're more than happy to make a note of that, and they appreciate that, because now they're not in collection mode, wondering if you're going to pay it. So, I mean, this is if you're in the system, I know some of you can't stand any of these companies and organizations and want to stay far away from as possible. But for those of us that are in the e-commerce, or not e-commerce, but commerce business, where you're doing commerce publicly, you have to comply with certain rules. Otherwise, it's very difficult to be banked. It's very difficult to process transactions, very difficult to open merchant processing accounts without EIN numbers and tax identification numbers and bank accounts and business accounts and things like that. It's very difficult to apply for business lines of credit and be able to build a business without having good banking relationships. Can it be done? Yeah, you need cash. You need money to do it. And so are there people doing it without that? Yeah. So I would recommend picking a bank and getting in good relations with them. When it comes to crypto, Chase seems to be the most crypto-friendly one so far that I know of. But
well, Trump just announced that he's suing JP Morgan now for closing their accounts.
Trump is suing JP Morgan because they debanked him and his family.
Correct.
Yeah, not everybody's accounts, just people like him, because it was for political reasons. They were doing that to make it difficult for him to win the presidency. And this was back a while ago. And, they're denying all that, but we'll see how that goes. I hope he wins. But is anybody on this call that big of a fish to be worried about? I mean, are you transacting with a couple $1,000 thinking that you're being targeted by, the powers that be? No, they don't care about you. You're non-existent. You're a flea on a dog. No offense. But when you get up into the millions or tens of millions or hundreds of millions, do you realize that the Small Business Administration of the government considers a business a small business if it makes under $40 million a year? That's a small business, according to the government, under 40 million. So most businesses are small businesses. Most businesses fall into that category, but they consider a small business 40 million or less. So don't think that. I think there's a lot of paranoia out there, and I think these YouTube videos do a good job in helping to perpetuate that rather. And trust me, I went down that rabbit hole. I went to the point of almost expatriating, and I was very paranoid at one point and had Costa Rican accounts and all kinds of shit going on, and IDs and residents in Costa Rica, thinking I was getting ready to expatriate. This was 20 years ago. I realized that the lesser of two evils. If I want to live in the United States, then pick the most business and entrepreneurial friendly state. That's Florida. So I picked Florida. I'm in Florida. Florida is thankfully Governor DeSantis is probably the most entrepreneurial minded person, and wants to get rid of taxes and income tax and state tax and all these things and property taxes. And there is no state income tax and all that stuff. So Florida is very friendly when it comes to entrepreneurs, but I can't speak for any other state. I know there's a lot of bullshit going on, a lot of regulation. I own an apartment building in Ohio, and in Florida, if I have a tenant that doesn't pay rent, I can have a sheriff at his door like in 3 or 4 days. I can file a 3-day notice, eviction notice, and have them out, like forcefully be removed within 30 days. The sheriff will knock on their door. We'll give them a 3-day notice. If they don't comply with that, they could literally be physically removed in 30 days. Now in Ohio, holy cow! I mean, it takes it. You have to give them you have to give them the notice, 3-day notice. Then they have 30 days to appeal, and if they don't by then you have to go to court, and then they have like 60 days to move out. It is nonsense. It's ridiculous. It's not landlord friendly at all. So all these states have the different rules. Some states make it harder for people, and depending on what your business is. Now, if you're a tenant being evicted, you might want those rules in your favor. But if you're a business person, landlord, the tenant doesn't pay rent and you shut their electric off or water off, they're like, hey, that's illegal. You can't shut my well. How can we pay the electric bill if you don't pay your rent? They just think that the landlords have unlimited money. But the reality is you don't pay your rent, we can't pay our bills. So we can't pay our bills, the water gets turned off of it. But you do that and you can get sued. So you have to pay their water. You have to make sure the water's on, electric on, even if they're not paying you rent. So it's not fair, but that's the cost of doing business. And this is why 1% ever make it, because the other 99% either can't handle that or don't understand it or can't afford to deal with it. One or the other. But and it is a pain in the ass, I'll tell you that. I mean, it would be much better if XRP just went to $100 and wouldn't have to deal with landlords, wouldn't have to deal with all this nonsense, right? It'd be much better if just get rich, liquid rich, without having to deal with any other business. And that is possible. That does happen to people, but I can't count on it. So I have to do other businesses in the meantime and trade and invest in other things to, not put all my eggs in one basket. But at the same time, I guess the point I'm trying to make is that, yeah, I know those things are happening. But I hear stories all the time, like people who have, Coinbase closed my account. All I did was try to transfer some crypto to this other wallet. But then, we try to help them out and we try to get to the bottom of it and we try to tell them what to do and contact support. And then when they send us a screenshot of the email they got from Coinbase explaining why they did it, it turns out that they were transferring money to a wallet address that has been flagged for nefarious reasons. That wallet address that they were sending money to has been reported as a scam wallet. So is the person that's having the problem scamming people, or are they working with a scammer? If you accidentally send money from your crypto wallet to a scammer wallet, even if you're the one being scammed, your account can be blocked, frozen, or you might have problems logging in, because they're flagging who you're doing business with. They're flagging who you're transferring money in and out to. And they see, but until they verify from you, what the deal is, if this is your wallet, or are you just, are you getting scammed by somebody? Until they verify that, they can just block you. That's why, we always say, not your keys, not your crypto. Coinbase has the power to just prevent you from logging into your own account. They own the keys. You just have a login access. And so that's why we say, I use Coinbase. I transfer money there. I mean, I buy crypto there, but I usually don't let it sit there too long. It's like a public restroom. You get in, you do your business, and you get out. You're not going to hang out in there, right? So if you leave crypto on there too long, and don't get me wrong, I've had crypto on there for years, but I mean, I don't leave huge amounts of it there. If you just leave it there and you don't ever do anything with it, you just let it sit there. You're not doing any transactions for months at a time. You become inactive. It goes into like an inactive status. And all of a sudden you have a big transfer in or out. It could block you. It could flag you and say, we're just making sure it's you. This account hasn't had any transactions for a year and a half. And all of a sudden you're moving 10 grand into it or out of it. They want to make sure the account didn't get hacked, and you could have problems like that. So I'm thinking that might be happening with banks too. I don't know. It could just be that they're tightening up, but if they're doing that with everybody, guys, then we would have a wrench in the spokes to the degree where everything would grind to a halt. I just can't imagine that they're doing that with everybody. I mean, I haven't had that happen to me, and I don't know anybody that I know personally that's telling me that that's happening to them. But I do hear the stories, so I know it happens to people. But I don't
And Nico,
know.
that happened to
Could
me
be the
with
banks too.
that happened to me with Bitstamp. I had an account back from 2016. I completely forgot about it. And I got a letter in the mail and it says, we're going to close your account if you don't log in and update your information. And I completely forgot about it. So I went through my emails. Oh, yeah, I did have a Bitstamp account and logged all that. And it's the only time I had diamond hands because I had some Bitcoin in there.
Right, because you forgot about it.
Because I forgot about it, right?
Yeah. I had that happen with a Bitcoin.com account back in the day when that was the only exchange. I don't know if you guys remember Bitcoin.com. Or blockchain.com. I'm sorry, not Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's what I bought at 1,000 and sold it at 15,000 and thought I was a genius.
Yeah. I had that happen with a bank account. I had a business account once from an old I forget what bank it was. TD I don't even remember. Pioneer or something. And they sent me a letter saying that my account was going to be closed and I had the choice to receive a check, a certified check, or give them wire information to send the money. I'm like, what money? So I called them up and sure enough, there was like $3,500 sitting in there for like 3 years that I didn't even know about. Those, it's obviously a good problem to have, but at the same time, you know, it can happen.
Hey, Nico,
There's
if you
those
have,
websites too, guys, websites that you can go to and put your information in. They'll let you know if you got lost money sitting somewhere. Go ahead, Norman, sorry.
yeah, I was just gonna say when somebody passes, you do searches and you find out that they may have life insurance policies or funds owed by a state or banks or all kinds of stuff. There are things that pop up that nobody knows about.
There's a whole business doing that. You contact the heirs of people who are owed money, somebody left an estate or something, and these people don't even know it. And you call them up and say, you know, I can help you get this $50,000 for 20% or 30%.
I have a buddy that does that in Florida, and he makes a lot of money. That's all he does.
Yeah, it's a big business. Yeah, there's attorneys that do it, attorneys' offices. I have a deal with a probate attorney to send me any. I know it sounds kind of cold, but whenever somebody dies, probate attorneys are the ones that obviously have to deal with the states and probate. And a lot of times, parents will have houses that are paid off, and the kids are grown, and the kids live somewhere else out of state. They're married, they have children, and they don't want the house. They just want it sold. The probate attorney, the one that I have, I'm friends with, he'll just call me and ask me if I want it first before they go the conventional route of putting it for sale. And I'll just make an offer sometimes. And if they accept it, but I've had people, they didn't want to go through the whole process of selling it, listing it, cleaning it. They just wanted it. They just wanted the money. And I made a really low ball offer and they accepted it. So it does happen. Does happen. But anyway, let's get back to crypto here. So what we're looking at is XRP here. Let me go back to the chart and see what's going on here. Did we come back down? I was in profit a minute ago. Oh, back up. Let's go. Let's go to the lower time frame. Looks like we might be breaking out of something here. We are breaking out, not of the overall channel. We still got a little ways to go. That's the line up here of the overall channel. But we are kind of breaking out of this little downward trend. Or are we? Let me just go to the tippy tops of all the lines. Let me just make sure. I would say that's pretty good right there. I mean, yeah, it looks like it's breaking out something here. I am total transparency here. I am long 15x leverage XRP on a coin margin with 21,000 contracts, 1,020 XRP worth almost $2,000. I am up 100 XRP, 10% at the moment, 102 XRP, $209. So we'll see if that can get up to here, if that can get up to finally get up to the top of this overall downward channel, that would bring us up somewhere up in the $2.15 range. From my entry, that would be almost 13%. Let's just say 12%. Yeah, 13%. what did I say? 1020 XRP. 13% move to the upside. 132 XRP times 15x leverage. Could make 2000 XRP on that, which would be about $4,000. Right? No, $2,000. Let me just do that math again with the cash instead of XRP. 13, it was almost $2,000, 1,995 times 13%, $259 times 15. Yeah, almost $4,000. I was right. 3,800. It's got to keep going though for that to happen. I mean, technically speaking, we're still in downward trending mode, but this is the floor inside the floor. Now, see this red line here and this red line here. Can you guys see my screen? Because I did switch back.
Move
Yes,
your
sir.
cursor.
You can see the screen. You can see my
Yep.
mouse moving.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, okay, good. This is a local floor. This is a little bit of a floor here because we bounced on it a few times. But this red line down here is the real floor of the overall floor. And so we're technically still inside the floor, trying to break out. If we get above the floor and hopefully hold above it like we did up here, that would be nice. So I would say that we have a couple resistance lines coming. We have, well, this one's got to get above the previous high right here. And then it's got to get above this previous floor right here, which was this high right there. This high, this floor, this low, which is pretty much the floor, the top of the floor right there. Let me just put that there. Yeah. So that's what it's got to do. Let's see what happens right now. Now let's look at Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin moving? Yep. Bitcoin broke out of this channel. Do you guys, were any of you on my on the webinar last night? I went long here with a whole Bitcoin on the webinar last night.
Good job.
88,000 contracts, which was equivalent to a whole Bitcoin, but I was at 75x leverage. And I got stopped out on this. It was breaking out here. I went long and then I got stopped out here. And then this happened afterwards. So if I would have just gave it some more room. Oh shit. Let me just see what I would have been up on this one.
I hate it when they do that.
Jeez. And it's only like a 2% move. It's not that high, but still. I was at I think it was like $2,000. Well, it was 88,000 contract. No. It was the price of a Bitcoin. So 88,000 at the time. Divided by 75x, about $1,100 times 1.79%. Times 75. I would only be up $1,500 right now. Not that much, but I would be 100%. I'd be up 100% gain right now. I would have stayed in that one. Because that's really not a big move. But that's the power of leverage, guys. 75x leverage on this turns a 1.79% move in the market. 1.79 times 75 into a 134% gain. Looks like it's coming right up to this this resistance line that I had there from last night. This was a nice little apex wedge it was forming into. And I just gave an example of how to go long, but we were kind of bound, we were kind of hitting the top here. So I wasn't sure if it was going to break out yet or not, but I just did the trade as an example to show how how you enter, anticipating that we were more than 70% into this apex and the breakout was imminent. And since the lows are getting higher and the highs are getting lower, normally this is a bearish flag, but we are also up against major support here going all the way back for a while. So generally a bear flag breaks to the downside unless it's up against support. And this did break to the upside. So that's why I went long. And I would have been right if I would have just given myself a little bit more room. Actually, I'm sorry. This is where it was last night. This is yeah, January 26th, January 22nd. This was last night right here. I had this, I remember because I had this upward trending line. I was telling them that it's either going to break to the top or break to the bottom. And it took me out somewhere down here. I did have a stop loss somewhere in here, but it bounced on the bottom. Look at this, and then finally shot out. So it wasn't a matter of whether it was going to break out. It was a timing issue. I wasn't paying attention overnight, so this happened kind of overnight. All of this. I just stayed in my XRP one and had that one a little further away, and we're up a little bit right now. Any other crypto or any other questions you guys have? Let me go back and look. There's a lot of chat going on here. William, your credit union. Yeah, credit unions. I don't know how long ago that was, but they don't. The most of them are okay with Coinbase now because Coinbase is a publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange, and they are compliant with regulations and reporting and supplying information to the banks if the banks request it. So I know Chase doesn't have a problem with them. I have automatic buys that go to Coinbase from Chase, and I also transfer money back from Coinbase to Chase sometimes. So I don't have a problem. And I think it's because Chase is kind of in bed with Coinbase. Chase is partners with Coinbase on some things. And so I would recommend, I know it's a national chain. I know you may not like them. It's JP Morgan Chase, but the bigger banks sometimes, Wells Fargo, I was having a problem with them with crypto.com and Chase. Chase didn't like crypto.com, but they didn't have a problem with Coinbase.
Hey, Niko, has anybody got into that? I happened to see the River. I thought River, when I looked at it, it was up 1,000%, 1,200% in the last month. But I thought it was this other company that they do to just deal with Bitcoin. You can do daily dollar cost averaging. They don't charge any fees for it, but it's actually a different token. I guess it's a protocol that started back in September, but it's been like pumping the last month or so. I wasn't sure if anybody was into it.
It's a crypto name, River, or a bank?
Yeah, the River, there's one, I thought it was the actual bank that did this dollar cost averaging for Bitcoin, but they're separate. The other one is called River. I just happened to see it on Coinbase when I do trending. When you go on 30 days, it's up basically about 1,200% as of a day or so ago. But they're a protocol that I happened to look into it a little bit last day or two. The other one, River, they just deal with Bitcoin. You can go on and just do daily. But you can buy Bitcoin daily. You can supercharge it and change it. They don't charge any fees. So I thought that was what it was, but when I looked it up, it was a different protocol altogether. But it's been pumping ridiculously since it was like $2 or $3. Now it's like $70, $80. And it kind of makes me wonder when people say, oh, well, Billy's saying 5 or 10 or 15. Well, it's something else like this that,
Oh no, it happens. Yeah, some people think,
like there's no reason why Optio can't pump to,
yeah,
or XLP, like you're saying,
I'll be happy with 5 cents.
Yeah,
So
I mean, even
how
if it's
about $5? Right.
Yeah, even $1 for Optio, I mean, you're making stupid money. Like it's,
Yeah. Yes. Let's see, 2 million. Yeah, I mean, even at 5 cents, depending on how many nodes you have and all that stuff. But once you get to about 1 million, 2 million tokens, which for some of you it's going to be a year, in 1 year, gets to 5 cents, that's 100 grand. You made your money back over a few times over, and it's still minting going forward. So $1, five, five. I don't ever, some people say, well, XRP's been, so popular and it's not even past $3. How is Optio going to go to $5? So what the market cap would have to be, it all depends on the supply and the use case and all that stuff. A lot of people get market cap confused with the amount of tokens that are in circulation. And that's usually the case if it's a speculative asset, but it depends on what the use case is also and what the price would have to be in order to handle the use case. But like XRP, for instance, could be a $100 trillion market cap. It could be it could flip Bitcoin easily as far as market cap if it's being used for every transaction settlement around the world. It could have a $500 trillion market cap. The likelihood of that happening may sound slim, but that's what would happen if that happened. And so the price could go to 10,000, 100,000, a million. If XRP was literally being used as the base settlement token for all the world's transactions, which probably won't happen, but if it was, then you're looking at possibly 100,000 to $1 million per token. It's just the way it is. Bitcoin did it. I mean, when Bitcoin was $1.89, $2, did anybody think it was going to 100,000 in a year or two? Now, the supply is less, but it's also very speculative. I'm trying to find something on Brad Garlinghouse's TikTok because they bank at a bank. I believe it's called something River or River Bank. I can't remember which one it is. And that's the same bank that Elon Musk banks at. And Elon Musk Brad Garlinghouse is partners with the bank and Ripple is the partner. So this is why there's speculation that Elon Musk is launching, his X payments on his platform. Let me go back over to Elon Musk and see. Right. He's launching X payments. He just announced it not that long ago, and he shows all the different cryptos that are going to be able to be bought and sold and paid for things on X, and XRP was not one of them. But the bank that he uses is the same bank that Ripple is partners with. So what's really happening here? Is XRP not going to be one of the cryptos that you're going to be able to make payments on X, or is XRP going to be the main crypto that handles all those transactions? And he's just not saying it. I don't know.
I know he uses XLM for currency exchanges for SpaceX. There was an article maybe like 6 months ago when his family office, I sent it to my buddy who runs it. And a lot of their quick exchanges when they're doing overseas things, he uses XLM. It didn't mention XRP, but people don't realize, but back in 99, he wanted PayPal to be X. He wanted this whole thing to be the largest holder of assets and everything else. Peter Thiel really wasn't interested in doing that. So, but he's had X.com basically all these years. This whole plan has been like 25 years in the making. So
yeah. And he could have been one of the guys that helped develop XRP back in the day, and Ripple. He might have been one of the main guys. I mean, there were transfers to him back then in 2013, back in the PayPal days, the PayPal Mafia or whatever it was called. He was part of it. He's not stupid, and he's not saying things for a reason. XLM has an X in it. XRP has an X in it. Is he really going to come out with his own X token? I don't know. Maybe he is. He certainly could. He's one of the few people that could make that work. But I'm trying to find the article where he shows the list of all the cryptos and the bank. But I didn't realize he is so prolific on Twitter. He's posting constantly. He is funny too. I don't know if you guys follow him on Twitter, but he posts some stuff that is pretty funny. He's kind of worse than Trump sometimes. He makes fun of people. He's kind of crazy.
He's like a 15-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Quick question. What exchange can you buy Optio on?
Coin store right now, but very soon, supposedly this week, according to Billy, you should be able to buy it right on Kaivo, the wallet. So if you weren't on the call that we had this past Monday with him, he was saying that it's supposed to be this week where you should be able to buy right on the Kaivo app, right on your Kaivo wallet. But I don't think that's active yet, as of last I checked, which was this morning or yesterday. But
And Niko,
coin,
Donnie I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, if you go into our Discord in the ICO channel, and you come up to the pinned messages up here, Bill has pinned a lot of the information about this whole thing. Articles and news stories, my original post. And I think somewhere, do we have a link somewhere where people can buy it from, or somewhere that I think it was Coin Store.
All your original instructions have all the.
Oh yeah. So right here, Niko's original post, you click on that and somewhere in here.
Should have been the first one. Should have taken you right to it. Yeah, I broke it.
All right, thank you. I didn't dive deep enough. I went to the pinned messages, but I didn't dig through there.
Yeah, it's around here somewhere, Coin Store.
That's where you can buy the nodes, Niko.
This is, well, the nodes you have to follow these instructions. So you would come to the pin messages in the ICO and it's Niko's original post about nodes, and you click on that, and that's this. Read this entire post over a few times before proceeding. Everyone in this group, when they order, make sure you have to put in the order notes, type in Renegades, blah, blah, blah. And here's step 1, step 2, step 3. So you create your wallet on Kaivo. Well, let's see. Create your wallet on Kaivo wallet. Once you download it from the App Store, I've attached a pic. So you go to the App Store. This is what it looks like. Type in Kaivo in the search. This is the one, P2P crypto wallet and rewards. And you download that. Okay. And then once that's done, you want to use the same email that you used for setting up this wallet, the same email, phone number, whatever your information is. Then you go here, and once that's done, go here and buy notes. Click on Ambassador, Optio Community, credit card or debit card or crypto or wiring. And then you go here and you set up your hosting. This is the hosting cloud website where you host your nodes. It's a server that you're basically paying a fee to. There's different plans, $10 a month, $29 a month or above. Depends on how many nodes you're hosting. You have to, I think it's $29 a month for up to 100 nodes. Or it's, less than 10 nodes is like $10 a month or something like that. I can't remember. So you'll set that up. And then once you do that, you log into your Kaivo wallet, or, once you have this set up, it's going to automatically, based on your email or whatever you bought your nodes from, it's going to automatically sync, and it's going to show how many licenses you have, and it will start to populate that in your, let me just go over here and show you what I mean. You guys still see my screen? You see what I'm doing here? Let me just go.
Yeah.
This is simple, where I have the nodes hosted. It's going to show you how many licenses you have, how many are active, and the plan limit. My plan is, I picked 60, but it's actually, I'm on the $29.95 a month plan, which is up to 100. It just says plan limit because I have 60, and then it shows how many are active down here. And it says online. If you just bought them, it'll show here, but it'll say something else here. It'll say inactive or searching or connecting. Up here, there'll be a note saying searching for your nodes, and it's trying to find them. It's connecting. It takes a minute. For them to start showing up here. And then they're going to go active online like this in green. Okay. Then you will notice that they will start to populate over in your Kaivo wallet. If you log into your Kaivo wallet, I have it on my phone and I have it here on my PC. Sign into there. And it'll show, maybe in the beginning when you first buy them, it might take a few days, 5 days or so, it'll show up your 0 and everything. But if you go to distribution down here, it'll show pending, pending, pending. So it'll show how many of your rewards you're starting to get, but it'll be pending. And then they'll start to go distributed. There will always be a couple days lagging, and there'll be pending. So tomorrow, this day won't be pending anymore. This day won't be pending anymore, but the 23rd will be pending. And then the next day, this day won't be pending anymore, but the 24th will be pending. You see what I mean? So it's always a few days behind. If I go to, I'm only showing 10 at a time right now, but if I back here, it started out with 1,238 because I only had 10 nodes, because it started distributing my 10 nodes before my 10 free ones showed up. Once my 10 free ones showed up, it started doubling, right? And then I added more somewhere around here. This is when the distribution went down. Everybody was freaking out because the distribution went down because the community rewards were stopped. That was supposed to be for the first year, not your first year, not your first whole year, but the first whole year of the nodes. And then apparently there was something that was being added to your distribution, which was called community rewards. And now that's just going to the people who are staking. So if you're staking, you're still going to get them. But if you're not staking, you don't get the community rewards anymore. And then when I added more nodes, obviously my rewards went up a little bit, but
is your staked right there? Is that what that represents, or non-staked?
I have none staked at the moment. So up here, send and receive, you can do that. Send, put the amount in, max, blah, blah, blah. Pretty soon there's going to be a buy button up here. He said this week, but I haven't seen it yet.
Niko?
Yes.
May I interrupt?
Yes.
I have a friend that may be interested in purchasing the nodes. So he's not part of Crypto Renegades. I was just wondering if it's okay to give him the link, or is that something special just for the group?
This is for the group. I mean, no, I mean, you can give him a link to buy nodes, but the buy one, get one free was for members of our group. So if he just wants to buy one or so, but if you buy 10 or more, it's for members of the group.
Okay.
It was a promotion for Crypto Renegades. They were only doing, Billy's a good friend of mine. He only came in there and offered that whole thing to us because he knows me. That's all. And he knows that I have a big community here to help. So otherwise, most people are not getting buy one, get one frees, and they're not getting it. By the way, the price changed from $1,000 to $1,500 per node. And then he changed it back to, Billy didn't change it. He had to get permission from the main people, because he told them that the group that he shared this with, there was more new people in the group that didn't get a chance to buy at that price, and they were ready to. So he gave us like 5 more days, which is this week, the rest of this week, I think. 5 days from Monday is today, Friday. And so if you go into buy, you'd have to put in, I put in the instructions in, let me just go back over here and show you. I put in the instructions that you have to, when you go to buy them, it's $1,500. So what you do is you would add the cart, and then you would put the quantity up here to 20. If you were going to buy 10 to get 10 free, you don't put it to 10, you put it to 20. That's 30. That would be $30,000. See down here? And then you go to checkout, and then you put the code in that we shared, and that's this one right here. I'll show you. That was going to the pin messages. It was my most recent one. Here's the instructions for that. Here's the instructions for getting the buy 10, get 10 free, or any amount over 10, get the equivalent amount for free for 1K per node. So instead of paying $1,500, you're getting it for 1K. So you put in 20 in the cart. If you're going to do buy 10, get 10 free, you're going to put 20 in the cart, and you can put node guide 2026 in the coupon area. And then what will happen is it'll take that 30K, 30,000. Let me just go to the other picture. You put in 1,500 times 20, it's going to show 30K. You put that code in and click apply, and it's going to drop it down to $500 per node. $500 times 20 is 10,000. So you're not paying $500 per node. You're only getting 20 for $500 each, which is equal to $1,000 for 10, and getting 10 free. I know it's confusing. I'm sorry that this is only because this was only after the fact, after they already ended our promotion, after the price got changed to $1,500. They were giving us one more chance for the people who wanted to get the buy one, get one free. So it's going to look like you're paying only $500 each for them, but it's only because you got 10 or more, which works out to $1,000 per node for 10, and you're getting the other 10 free. So anyway, I do have instructions for that. I know that's kind of confusing, but you have to come into the pin messages and see it. So right now, if you've never bought any of these yet and you still want some, you just go through the normal instructions that I have here on Niko's original post. And then you follow these instructions here on this, which is put in 20. If you're going to do the buy one, get one. If you're not going to do buy one, get one free, guys, it's just $1,500 per node. If you do the buy one, get one free, you have to buy at least 10. And if you're going to buy 10, you have to put 20 in that you're buying and then put that code in, and it's going to knock it down to 500 each. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And then just to understand a little bit more, this doesn't have anything to do with a cold wallet either, where you store these probably either. Is that correct?
You're going to, no, during these instructions that I originally put here, you're going to create your Kaivo wallet. It's not a cold wallet, so to speak. It's kind of like a warm wallet. I mean, you're the only one in control of it, but it's when you start to accumulate, when you start to get the rewards from the nodes, they're going to automatically go into your Kaivo wallet, which is what I was just showing you here a minute ago. Let me go back over there. They're going to go into your Kaivo wallet and start to show up here in your assets. And you can send them out. You can now, if you can't sell here or buy here right now, you're going to be able to buy here soon. So this is just a wallet where it's storing them, but you can stake. You can click here and you can buy, receive, or send, receive, and stake. There's going to be a buy button here soon where you can literally buy them and you can stake and earn more. But if you ever want to sell them, you're going to have to transfer them to another exchange like Coinstar, where you can sell them right now. I mean, you can buy and sell. But also, Billy was saying that they're working out the final details to get listed on Coinbase. So you would be able to just send them back to Coinbase and sell them there as well. So we're expecting this to get listed on Coinbase soon. But this so this takes time for all of these things to happen. This is kind of new, what's going on right now. So this is not an overnight thing. This is just a buy, hold, accumulate. Now, keep in mind I'm generating 5,000 a day, but I have 60 nodes. So it would take me a year just for math purposes here, 5,200 times 12. Times 365 days a year. That would be 1.9 or 1.89 million tokens at the end of 12 months at this reward rate. Okay, so if I wait a year, I'll have 1.89 million. Let's just say 1.9. But right now, the current price is 0.002. You can see it right here. If I wanted to go buy $1.9 million worth of tokens right now times 0.002 cents, it would only cost me $3,700. So you can go buy more of these tokens on the open market on Coinstar than it would take you a year to accumulate with a node. Now, some of you might be saying, well, why not just do that? Why even deal with nodes? You can do that. You can do that. But I would recommend doing both, because if you were to do that and there is huge price appreciation, and let's say it goes up to 5 cents. So you got 1.9 million of these things worth, $3,700. You just paid for them. Let's just say 1.9 million, and it goes up to 0.05 cents. That's $95,000. And you sold them all. That would be a hell of a return for you. That would be 95,000 divided by the 3,700. That would be like a 25x. All right. But you would also have no more tokens, and the price would now be 5 cents and probably going up from there. Whereas if you get nodes, let's say like me, for instance, I have 60 nodes. In a year, I'll have 2 million tokens. But let's say I also go over to Coinstar and buy 2 million tokens for another $3,700 or $4,000. Let's just say. right? And then we have that huge price appreciation up to 5 cents. I could sell the ones I bought and have a 25x, pull 100 grand back out, and still have my nodes minting 5,000 a day. Let's just say 5,000 a day times 0.05 cents. That's $250 a day, every day. That's 7,500 a month. Whereas if you just buy them and sell them when there's price appreciation, that's a one-time transaction. So you got to look at it that way too. Let's say it goes up more. Let's say it goes up to $1. You got $2 million worth. You sell them all. That's it. You got $2 million. That's great. But if I did that, if I had my nodes and I had 2 million tokens and I sold them all, I would pull $2 million out. But the very next day, I would be minting $5,000 worth of tokens at $1 each. That's 150 grand a month that I will just keep earning every month. That's like printing money. So the nodes are great after time, after accumulation and price appreciation, all that stuff. But you can do both, or you can do one or the other. You don't have to buy the nodes to buy the token. You can go buy the token on Coinstore or wait for it to be available on Coinbase. But I have a feeling when it gets listed on Coinbase, it's not going to be 0.002 cents anymore. And so for those of you who buy it now at a lower price or get the nodes now, you stand to gain from that. So this is an ICO, guys, initial coin offering. This is like an IPO in the stock market where you're able to get shares of a stock before it goes public.
So, Niko, do these nodes produce indefinitely, basically?
They do, but depending on the quantity of nodes, the amount of rewards goes down over time. As you can see, even just since the 15th, I was minting 5,227, 5,227, then 5,226, then 5,225, a couple days like that, then 5,224. So I'm losing a few tokens per day distribution. So, but it does taper off after a while. There's only so many nodes that will be bought and go online. But the more nodes that are online minting, the less the rewards are per node. But there is a limit to that. So, but let's just say the price goes really high, it goes to $5 or something like that, and this goes down. By the time that happens, this is at 800. Let's just say 800 tokens a day instead of 5,000. I don't imagine it going down that low, but let's say it does. And the price is at $5 at that point, it's still $4,000 a day being minted. But I think there is a limit to how low it goes. It starts off a certain amount and then tapers down and then plans out after that.
And is that how basically all the tokens in this company are printed or minted?
Yes.
Through these nodes?
Yeah, well, yeah, and you can buy and sell. I mean, there is liquidity on the open market as well because it was listed on MEXC and Coinstore. Those are the two decentralized exchanges so far, but that's not their goal. Their goal is to be on the centralized exchange. And so this coin, they're in the process of getting it on Coinbase, which is the largest centralized exchange in existence right now. I think besides maybe Binance. But Coinbase is the biggest US-based one. And so once it's on Coinbase, now you have millions more people having access to it that didn't know about it before. Money starts to go into it. New tokens get shown on Coinbase. And people buy into the new tokens a lot. So price appreciation happens because there's more demand than there is supply. So demand starts to go up. The price starts to go up from there. We've seen this happen with Solana. We've seen this happen with which one? VeChain, Chainlink, all these other ones. Now those are bigger cryptos, obviously, but when they got on VeChain, for instance, VeChain is what? VeChain is like 1 cent. VeChain is 1 cent right now. But if you guys remember, not that long ago, it went up to, when it was listed on Coinbase, it went up to 28 cents. And that was just the last bull market. Then it came down. Since then, but there was also some negative news about China and the companies behind it, and that VeChain may not, China might restrict crypto. And so the VeChain kind of took a dive after that. But most of the time when things get listed on Coinbase, they shoot up. It's kind of like going public. But right now, think about this, a penny to 28 cents, that's 28x. So if we 28x from here, even on just an initial listing, that would be a nice pop for everyone.
Yeah, but once they start doing transactions, then
Awesome.
that's what's going to kick everything in. Like you may only getting, be 5,000 or 100 per node now, but once they start doing transactions with Kevin Harrington and even Parler, people start advertising and things like that, or Walmart, Amazon, people start using it. That's it could be, 5 or 10,000, for one node, it could be 1,000, it jumps up to. So it all depends on how implemented it gets. And then, like I said, and they haven't even advertised yet, Billy was saying. So once they start advertising, then it could really take off.
Yeah, there's a lot of tokens out there that some of you may not have ever even really heard of that are, let me just find some right now. Dash, for instance. Well, you might have heard of Dash. Avalanche, Layer Zero, $2.32. Uniswap is $5 almost. Official Trump is $4.88. Lighter token, $1.79. Story, $2.30 on Coinbase. Internet Computer Token, ICP, $3.56. BitTensor, Tau, $242. I mean, it's a $2.6 billion market cap. So there's a lot of tokens that you don't really hear anything about. You don't even know what they do, and they're in the multiple dollars. Horizon, which is Zen, it's $10.40. I'm sorry.
Is ZEC on Coinbase? I can't see your screen, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not sharing my screen because I'm sharing my
That's fair.
actual Coinbase account. But let me see. ZEC,
Just
ZEC.
wondering.
Yeah, Zcash. Zcash is on Coinbase, and you can buy it on Coinbase. It's $372.
Thanks.
And so imagine when XRP or some of these more popular. And by the way, Zcash was, even Zcash was like $35 just a year ago. $479, damn. But it was pretty much on the floor for a long time, not doing anything. Well, I shouldn't say a long time. We're talking about, I think back in it went up to like $955 in 2018 and then came back down. Let's see. There's one called WAP. Is that a Nicki Minaj token, or
I believe so.
whoever the one that sang that song? Yeah, it's a crazy world we're living in right now, guys. But I mean, the best time. This is basically kind of like there's some other crypto courses or programs out there where they teach how to buy tokens on the primary market, decentralized finance, places like that. You probably heard of some of these guys. They charge like $25,000 to be in their mastermind. And all they're doing is showing you what we just showed you right here with ICOs, how to buy on the primary markets, meaning before the token goes public, before it gets on an exchange. That's all you're doing. You're getting huge price appreciation. So you can do both. Nodes are one thing, and you can always buy the token itself. But you might want to wait. You might want to wait the rest of this week, because if it does become available to buy on Kaivo, you might as well buy it right inside your own wallet.
Are there any tokens out there now for oil?
Probably. I'm not 100% certain. Anybody know?
I mean, there was one I was looking at, USOR, but I don't know if that's a legitimate coin or that's one of those rug pulls.
I don't see it on an exchange. Even if it was not available on Coinbase, it would probably show up on Coinbase search, and it would say not available on Coinbase. It would just say you have to buy it on their wallet. I mean, useless. There is a coin called Useless Coin. With a $73 million market cap. 7 cents. Available on Coinbase.
Tradable with leverage on Phemex.
Right? Exactly. So anyway, guys, what are we doing here? Let's go back. Let's do a little trading, see what we got here. I have 2 calls back to back here at 1:30 and 2 o'clock. And today, Bill, are you doing oh, we got onboarding today. So if you're new, you want to make sure you get it on the onboarding today at 2 with Bill.
I'll share that in just a minute.
Jean-Paul asked, Niko, how do I get a Crypto Renegades hat like the one on your desk behind you? I will show you. I will show you. So if you want one of those, and by the way, we got Crypto Boom, and I don't know if he's on here today, but he's made his own Crypto Renegades hats. He didn't like the colors we had, so he went and had red ones made. Can you see my screen? So in the Discord, you just go to official links, and you come up here to Crypto Renegades shop. You got t-shirts, hats, tank tops. Pick your color. That's how you do it. Beanies. Cups. Model not included. Yes, Anthony, the link is in Discord as well. I mean, in school. Thank you for that. Joe, I am in need of the Discord link, please. If you're on this, how did you get the link to this webinar? I mean, this Zoom call, if you're not in Discord. Are you not in Discord?
Last week, there were a few folks that were not quite in the Discord yet when they were.
Oh, from school. Okay. Joe, let's see. Joe, have you been on onboarding? Let me know if you've been on an onboarding call, because you should have been set up with that. Richard needs the link for Discord. I tried the link we sent to me January 6th. I don't remember been in a couple of years finally getting to this. Okay.
Oh man, it's all different now.
Yeah. All right. We've been in for a while. Let me
I'll send one to Richard right now.
Yeah. Take care of Joe too.
Joe, drop your
Thanks,
email
Bill.
address. No worries,
Thanks.
bro. Yeah, Joe, drop your email address for me so I can email.
The January 6th you sent to me wouldn't work today. I just got a new computer.
That's fine.
Yeah, no problem. They actually expire. So if you don't use them within a certain period of time of receiving them, they expire and you got to get a new link, just so that people aren't sharing them around to people who are not members.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. They can only be referred. by admin. If someone tries to join that from a referral link or a link that was shared by someone outside of admin, it's going to be flagged, and we're going to have to look into it to see if they remember.
Make sure you guys have your Discord accounts set up before you click on the invite link. Make sure you verified your email first, or you won't be able to get in.
All right, guys. So what's going on here with XRP? Hopefully we stay and hold above. It did come down and wick right to that line. Obviously trying to retest there, but it did not make a higher high here. So that's concerning. Let's see if I could close this out and take a little bit of profit or just stay in it. It looks like we got a little bit of an upward trend right here. Let's see if we hold above. It is bouncing on support here, and maybe this right here is just bouncing on the upward trending support line. Down to 43 now. Grady, we were just talking about River a minute ago. I don't know if you were on, but we didn't know what it was. I guess I don't know if that's a token or not, but you're saying it appreciated from $2 to $60 in the last month. That's crazy.
Yeah, I wasn't on earlier. I just got on.
That's River USDT.
Let me look at
That's
it.
correct.
Is it on Phemex?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
There it is.
It's up 41% in the last, what was it? Less than a day.
Yeah, that's a pretty good climb right there. I mean, it did hit $60. Actually, it hit $66, but some serious something going on here.
We need to catch those earlier.
Yeah. See, the good thing about this group, guys, is that we got other people that are finding things and scouting things and seeing things happening. Because I can't be everywhere, and I certainly can't be. Everywhere. Hold on a second. So yeah, so we got members that find these things and talk about it in the members ideas channel and things like that. So, but look at this. This has some serious upward trending momentum here, and it looks like it just broke out of that. Let's go to a little bit higher time frame and see when was this thing listed. Oh, it was pretty much on the floor for a long time. Look at this. Down here at $4. All last year, pretty much. And then boom, what is going on with this? Anybody know what the story is behind River?
I think Aster. It was listed on Aster, and it pumped some, so that helped.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what I would do, yeah, that's crazy, man. That would have been a serious trade right there. I mean, as soon as you start to see this action, let's just say you did get in. That's 841% move to the upside. At 10x leverage, guys, that would have been 8,000%. 20x leverage, 16,000%. That's where you see these posts and these went gains 21,000%. Somebody might have got in on this because let me just go look, because I think in our Facebook group. Chad just posted something to that effect. Someone just, here it is. Michael, is Michael on this call? Michael had a 21,366% gain on Vine.
Nuts.
So it wasn't this token, but that happens, guys. It happens if you get in the right time. All right, I got 15 minutes. They just bumped it up. So I would wait. I wouldn't just jump into this one right now. I would wait to see if we break back above this upward trend line right here. It looks like we popped above it here and then we came back down to it. All you got to do, you take the original trending resistance line and you can see we hit it, broke out, and then came down and hit it as support. Boom, boom, broke back through. It's probably going to come back up and retest, but is it going to create a head and shoulders, or is it going to break out a hold above this and then make a new high? Because even if you got in here, if it broke above this and you got in here, and it ran up even higher, I mean, I can't really imagine that, to be honest with you. I'm thinking it's going to come down because that's kind of a crazy pump, but you never know. Keep an eye on it. This looks like this is a dip before a big pump and another retest here. But it looks like this could easily set up for one of these where it comes up and hits this and has a little head and shoulder pattern here. I wish I would have, hindsight is genius, crystal ball down here. Like if you would have just sitting long down here, waiting, that could have been a multiple six-figure trade right there. So you have, I don't know, 2K on that one times 844% to the upside times 10x leverage. Could have made a lot of money on that. $50x leverage. A little inside information would be helpful sometimes, knowing these things are about to happen. But
Keith said he mentioned it last Friday. I missed it, but a few other people got it. Yeah, a few other people got it in the group.
Who did?
Keith did. Keith mentioned it. He said, I missed it, but I didn't see that mentioned.
Damn, Keith, I'm sorry. Wasn't listening. I didn't hear. But I don't know what you last Friday was here already.
He said there will be more. He's right.
Oh, for sure. This happens all the time. Guys, if you just go into up here and click on this and you look at the tokens under USDT and scroll down and look at this green right here and just find an anomaly. Look at it. River, the one we're talking about now is the only one red. And you would look at that and say, oh, it's down 20%. I don't want to get on that one. But what you don't realize is it just pumped up 800% right before this 20% pullback. 15%. AXS is moving up. Rose, big pump to the upside probably and dumping. Every once in a while, you'll come across one that just did something crazy. Look at this. There you go. ACU, 140%. Let's look at it. Why? Just got listed on Phemex yesterday. Boom. This is the hour chart from 10 cents to 30 cents in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20 hours, about a day, overnight. Can you do that in the stock market?
Yep. Another one just listed on Aster, just a couple days ago.
Which one?
The one you're looking at right
Oh,
there.
this one?
Mhm.
Wow. What is Aster? New platform? A new exchange?
It's an exchange. It's a I think it's considered a DEX,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it acts like a SEX. Oh, but yeah. But they say that the CZ kind of, or some of the Binance folks, because it's
Yeah.
related to CZ, they pump it. Some of them.
Yeah. He's talking about Binance, the CEO, Binance founder. This guy is so rich. I mean, he's like,
Kind of like what they did to the CO AI one, where they pumped it up and then it dropped, probably still dropping.
yeah, you got to be careful. These guys. This is FOMO, because once you start seeing this and you say, "Oh man, I'm going to get on this thing's going up," and as soon as you buy in, you're making your emotional decision at the same time thousands of other people are when they finally hear this or see this, and a lot of people get in here, and that is when the people that knew about this here and got in here are taking their profits here. They're going to dump. Now, it may not be here. It could go up to 42 cents first before it happens, but you just don't know. So this is a guess. All up here is Fugazi. Maybe. It's maybe territory. But
Price
this coming
discovery.
back down is probably for sure. It's just a matter of when. And may not come down permanently, but it could come down to retest somewhere. Here. Or here. As they usually do.
Yeah, sometimes you can click on the coin info on it, and you can see if it's really backed by, um, legitimate
Yeah.
venture capital or something like that, or if they're just pumping it.
A lot of times also, guys, you're going to get notifications up here. If you're paying attention up here, Phemex will let you know when there's a brand new token added to the platform. And that might be a good time to go look at it and see if it's going to start to pump or if it's not doing anything when it gets listed. As soon as it gets listed, sometimes they start to move. Up here in the notification section, you're going to see as well new tokens that are listed.
Niko, I posted, there's a site I used to use, icodrops.com. It basically used it for the last 5 years or so. And it just announces when new coins are coming on the market. Whether who's backing it and whatever thing, what
Yeah.
kind of valuations are, helps.
Yeah, good. Cool. You just, what's it called? ACU?
ICO drops.
Oh, ICO drop. Somebody
Dot
posted a
com.
link. Somebody posted
com.
something else. ACU. Accurate. ICO drops. When did you share it?
Just a little while ago.
In the Zoom chat?
Yeah.
Oh, Bill just reshared it. Cool. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Keith. All right, guys. The more you know, the more you know. Learn the skill of getting in and getting out so that you can take advantage of all these things. So that's basically what we're teaching you and showing you how to enter and exit. But once you do, like when you go in over to the Wins wall in the Discord here, guys, look at all these tokens. SUE, SUI, XRP, a lot of XRP, ETH, Tau, Sand. River. Steven got in on some River. Tau. He was at River at 34. It went up to 60, 66 since then. So good job. But point I'm trying to make is that a lot of these gains that some of these members are making here, Ripon, Solana, Pippin, I meant. ALCH, White Whale. Like these are not signals we're given, and not signals I'm given, but they know how to find them, they know what to look for, and they know how to get into them now. So they're just going and finding them on their own. And once you're on here, you can do that. You can just go in here and find a trade setup, find something that looks like it's moving. And as long as you know the basics, you should be able to scalp that, put your stop loss in a safe place. Like right here, if we were right here and it was hitting resistance and then coming back up and hitting this resistance, getting ready to break through and then retesting right here, this would have been a great entry. And that was at 19 cents. It went up to 30 cents. That's, that alone right there is 54% gain with no leverage. All right, guys. I got to wrap it up. I got people waiting for me on another call coming up here in a minute. It's almost 1:45 in 15 minutes. Let's go back to XRP real quick and see what's going on. It does look like it's trying to hold. It's trying. Maybe not. We'll see if that wakes up. What would you target? Adonis asked, what would you target in that case? I don't even remember what I was just looking at. What token was that I was just on? I would,
ACU.
yeah, what I would do is there is no target because there is no price history, which means that there is no roof, there's no ceiling. It's never been that high before. So what you do is when it starts to go into profit and you 10, 15, 20% in the profit, you move your stop loss to break even or into profit. And then you just let it run. And if you see it shoot up and then hit a ceiling and then start to come back down, in other words, it does something like this where it runs up, and then all of a sudden it starts to come back down, draw a trend line. Let me just go back and look at it real quick. I'll give you an idea. I would do this if I was able to get in here, like for instance, if it broke through and retested and I got in there, I would draw an upward trending support line, kind of like I just did on XRP, and I would stay in it as long as it stays above that line. This could run up some more, and it just stays above this line. And as soon as it doesn't, as soon as it maybe comes up and then comes back down to this line and then falls through and then starts to drop, then you know that this upward trend is over for now. I mean, it doesn't mean it's going to come all the way back. It could just consolidate. There could be some sell-off. It could come down to the previous resistance level on the way up. And then it could bounce there. Could be another good entry. It bounces here, starts to come back up. But it's difficult to predict these. I don't normally play with these anymore myself, even though there's big potential to make money. It's also timing. You got to get in at the right time because there's no price history. I can't go back and look and see where the previous resistance and support is because it never existed prior to a certain date right here. Never existed prior to yesterday. It did form a little cup and handle on the lower time frames before breaking out. But even patterns like that are unpredictable on brand new tokens because there's no price action, price history. But it did pump up to that level first. Interestingly enough. All right, guys, get on. If you're new, get on the onboarding call with Bill. If you haven't been on, like if you like the gentleman earlier, Joe, if you've been in this group for a couple of years, but you're just now getting back into things, you might want to get back on onboarding with Bill coming up in 15 minutes at 2 o'clock. He shares the link in this group. He shared it already. Just a few, if you just scroll up a little bit, you'll see it. And also he shares it in the Discord. In the Discord, it's in the announcement channel, right under my post right here. In the trade chat, he posted it right here. So it's everywhere. Get on that if you're new, if you're brand new, even if you're just a week or two old, get on there. It's very helpful so that you make sure that you're doing everything the right way to get things off the ground and get started. And also make sure you're on the basics call on Monday. I think he's got 2 basics calls now. Is that correct, Bill?
Yep. Yeah,
Monday.
that's right.
Mondays and
Monday
Wednesdays are basics
and
calls now.
Wednesdays.
Awesome. And that's good to repeat until you don't need it anymore, guys. I mean, this is about repetition. You do something over and over again, you're not going to need to learn it anymore, right? It just becomes second nature. So do all that. I will be in the signal channel giving signals if I see anything happening. It does look this one. I mean, that ACU is promising. I mean, I might keep an eye on it if it breaks this next let me just show you real quick. If it does break this level that it's at right now, it is possible. If it gets above this, obviously we have resistance, 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 resistance. 4 10-minute candles in a row right here. Resistance, resistance, resistance. This candlestick right here is a Doge candlestick. Could be an indication of a trend reversal, but maybe not. If it breaks through, we could see some more uptrend there. Screw it. I don't think I have any USDT. I don't have any USDT. I've been trading on coin margin for the last couple weeks. So I'm not even going to enter it right now, but I'm sticking to my XRP right now because that's what I'm trying to accumulate the most of. And looks like we might be breaking out of that little upward trend right now. It's coming back down to my entry point. I'm not going to get out of this yet. I mean, I'm not in it for $100. If it bounces here on this downward trending previous resistance line and bounces and starts to climb, I'm staying in. But if it falls through that, maybe I'll reverse this because that means it might be coming back down to the bottom of this overall downward trending channel. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully we're ready for a breakout right now. This is the first time it broke out of this downward trending channel and held above it so far. It did have one bounce here and it's bouncing again now. So let's see. Let's see if that holds. If not, I'll post it in the group. What I'm going to do, I'll probably stay in for now. My stop loss is down here, so I'll probably stay in for now because I am in XRP in long positions for the big major move to the upside whenever that happens. I don't, it's going to happen sooner or later, so I want to catch it. But anyway, guys, have a great rest of your day. I will see you in the chat. If you have any questions, just ask it in the main chat or in the help desk, and or you can send me a DM if it's urgent. Otherwise, I will see you on the next live call, and I will possibly go live tomorrow if I see anything exciting happening. I'll post that in the Discord if I decide to do that. All right, guys. Talk to you later.